Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, Dhyan Yoga. We are on text 18. Yada viniyatam chittam atmani eva vatisthate nisfraha sarva kamebhyo yukta iti uchyate tada. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. So when the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. The activities of the yogi are distinguished from those of an ordinary person by his characteristic cessation from all kinds of material desires, of which sex is the chief. A perfect yogi is so well disciplined in the activities of the mind that he can no longer be disturbed by any kind of material desire. This perfectional stage can automatically be attained by persons in Krishna consciousness. So a yogi, he is well established in yoga. Why? Because he is, what's the perfection of yoga? Is samadhi. Samadhi means constant meditation on who? On the Supreme Lord in the heart, on the Vishnu form, the Paramatma form in the heart. How does the Paramatma look like? He's four-handed Vishnu form. You know, he has 4 hands, and each of the hands he's holding chakra, gada, lotus flower and conch shell. That is how the Paramatma looks. The description is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the yogi is fixed. His mind is fixed on Paramatma. And because of that, he has no material desires. He's already seeing the super soul. He's already seeing the Paramatma. He's already understood, I'm not the body, I'm the soul, and the Paramatma is here next to me. So he's well established in yoga. And this is the perfection of yoga, perfection of Ashtanga yoga. And so this perfectional stage can automatically be attained by persons in Krishna consciousness, by persons who are following the process of bhakti. Because as Bhagavatam says, Bhagavatam Canto 9, chapter 4, text 18 to 20, Savemana Krishna Padara Vindayor Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane Karau Harir Mandira Marjana Dishu Shrutim Chakara Chuta Sat Kathodaye Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drisho Tadbritya Gatra Sparshyanga Sangamam Grahanam Chatat Pada Saroja Saurabe Srimattulasya Rasanam Tad Arpite Padao Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane Shiro Rishikesha Padabhivandane Kamam Chadasye Natu Kama Kamayaya Yathotama Shloka Janashraya Rati. King Ambarish, first of all, engaged his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Then, one after another, he engaged his words in describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord, his hands in mopping the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing of the activities of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the transcendental forms of the Lord, his body in touching the bodies of the devotees, his sense of smell in smelling the scents of the lotus flowers offered to the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaf offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, his legs in going to places of pilgrimage and the temple of the Lord, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in executing the mission of the Lord. All these transcendental activities are quite befitting a pure devotee. So, Krishna consciousness it begins from the point where the perfection of yoga is. So where Ashtanga Yoga, the perfection is in samadhi. From there on, what does the devotee do? Engages in devotional service. So first, fixing the mind on the Lord is samadhi, right? Fixing the mind on the Lord is samadhi. So we can see that bhakti yoga begins from the point of perfection of yoga, means it includes all the benefits which one gets from following Ashtanga yoga. And so first, Ambarish Maharaj, he fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. Then one after another, because the mind is fixed on Krishna, then the senses automatically get controlled. Then it's easier to control the senses. Why? Because the mind is fixed on Krishna. So then how did he, then he speaks about Krishna. He's speaking the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Then with his hands, he's cleaning the temple of God. Ears, in hearing the activities of God. His eyes, seeing the beautiful deity of God. Body, touching the devotees by touching the devotees' bodies, sense of smell, and smelling the scents of flowers offered to God. Tongue and tasting tulsi leaf offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. Legs in going to places of pilgrimage and the temple of the Lord. His head in offering obeisances to the Lord, and his desires in executing the mission of the Lord. So he has no material desire. There's no material desire. His desire is only how can I please the Lord? That's all. And so he is on a liberated platform. He has understood his position already. So even if he is in the body, he is liberated, and he knows how to act on the liberated platform. Because what happens is someone may reach the liberated platform by the process of knowledge, but then they don't know what am I supposed to do? How do I act on this platform? But the devotee, he knows how to act on the platform. He knows that he has to engage in devotional service. So that is the point. That is the point. If we reach the point of liberation through any other process, then to stay on to stay liberated, what do we have to do? We have to engage in devotional service. Because if we don't, then we will fall down from this liberated platform. Why? Because the soul is always active, always looking to do activities. So this transcendental stage may be inexpressible subjectively by the followers of the impersonalist path, but it becomes very easy and practical for a person in Krishna consciousness, as it is apparent in the above description of the engagements of Maharaj Ambarish. Unless the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord by constant remembrance, such transcendental engagements are not practical. So the mind, once the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord, constantly remembering the Lord, then automatically the Krishna conscious person, he engages all his senses in the service of the Lord. In the devotional service of the Lord, therefore, these prescribed activities are called archana, or engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. Archana. All the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. The senses and the mind require engagements. Simple abnegation is not practical. So the mind and senses, they need to do something. They can't just be doing nothing. They'll make us crazy. So even if we come to the liberated platform, then what are we supposed to do? So if we have heard about the Lord, then we will know what to do. I am supposed to serve the Lord. That is my duty as an eternal soul. And this is devotional service. This is archana. So simple abnegation is not practical. Simply by abstaining from work is not practical, because how long can we stop work. So this goes on till the time we are in the material body, and this is very valid when we are also out of the material body and situated on the Brahman platform, on the platform of the soul. Because how long will the soul just stay there without doing anything? How long? So it's not practical, simply negation of work. Therefore, for people in general, especially those who are not in the renounced order of life, transcendental engagement of the senses and the mind, as described above, is the perfect process for transcendental achievement, which is called yukta in the Bhagavad Gita. This is true renunciation. True renunciation, understanding the position of God, understanding that everything belongs to God, understanding that I am a part and parcel of God. And because everything belongs to God, let me engage everything in the service of God. That is true renunciation. It's called Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya, not artificial renunciation, not simply saying, no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, not. Because then we have not understood the truth. We have not understood, not understood the truth. And so how can we come to this point? The more we hear about God, the more we hear about him from Bhagavad Gita, from Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we understand how great God is, understand how great he is, then the more we hear, the more we will surrender, the more we will be aware of his position and our position. So we need to continue to hear and chant. Hear from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chant the holy names. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, any comments or anything to add?
No.
No? Okay. So we'll stop here for today. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shilpa ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.